What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Anthony with the Wrenched Out Garage. Once again, we are here at the RZR and we're gonna add more protection to this thing. These RZRs are extremely expensive. They're not, you know, 10,000 or below, at least if you buy them brand new. And we wanna do everything we can to protect the RZR and to protect us when we're out on a ride. So, we have, apart from Polaris, I'm gonna dive into in a minute, but first, hey, hit the subscribe button down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment or a question, and let's get started. So, if you have a newer RZR, you're gonna see right from the factory, you have these holes right here. In fact, let me show you, zoom it in a little bit. So you've got two, one right there, one right there, got another one right there, and one up front there. Move the camera back. So there's obviously a lot of options, and as always, I'll link this product down below, and I'll link similar products if I can find them below as well. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the rock guards. Now, Polaris does offer two different versions. Currently for the RZR, you've got a panel that you can place up there, which is just a metal panel. And essentially the idea of this is to protect kind of that side undercarriage of the vehicle, because obviously you've got your doors right here, your door right here, and then you've got this big piece of plastic and then your frame down below. So we want to do everything we can to protect that part of it. So let's dive into this. We are working with, Polaris did a great job with adding a bunch of colors. This is the box. I don't know the contents. I did cut it open, but I did not look through it. So this is the 288-2079-458. This is black and it's for the 4-seater. I'll see if I can find some of the 2-seater ones, and let's get to this. All right. So in the box, looks like that. So we're gonna open this up and see what we have here. Because there's pre-existing holes, I'm hoping, and I've hoped this before on other videos, that this is a fairly simple install. But first we need to get all these parts and pieces out. I did like this design from Polaris, and as always, these guys direct fit. These are fairly expensive if you purchase them direct through Polaris. And let's see what we've got here. So it looks like we just have some Allen keys and some type of rubber grommets. So I'm not real sure, but we're gonna find out how this works. So we've got these guys right here. I'm gonna put this up in the bed right there for now. We got one piece. There's the back piece. So essentially this is just 4 pieces, it looks like. Throw that in here. So I can show you guys a bit more of what we have here today. All right. Move that box out of the way. There we go. Okay. And then there's a, why is there a piece of cardboard? So for some reason they shoved cardboard down into these slots. That one's way down in there, so I'm gonna have to grab some pliers to get that out, I believe. All right, so let me unwrap this, and then I'll show you guys what we're working with and what we have going on here. Full tube design. Obviously the black powder coating matches the rest of the vehicle, which is the other reason why I like going with the same parts all the way across. And there we go. They do have these expandable fittings that Polaris, we actually use the same kind of fittings on the rear of the vehicle. And I'm not real clear on why they shove that out there like that. You're gonna need, let me grab some pliers here to get these pieces of cardboard out. Oops. Okay, so this does look like the driver's side. So they have these press-in fittings with expanding nuts is what it was. Let me grab the directions and we'll get this thing thrown on. This should be fairly simple, at least that's what we're hoping for. Let's see what this says. And then of course, those grommets are actually covers, which is nice. I'm glad that they did that so that doesn't get cake full. So, left hand, right hand, bolt through. Place your vehicle in park. Ensure each expansion anchor is fully seated in each welded socket by attempting to gently rotate the screw. Apply enough torque to ensure proper seating. All right, and what size do we have here? It just says that. I can barely even see inside of this thing. Number 8. The heck does it say? It says it takes about 30 minutes to install. We'll see about that here in a minute. Torque it to 22 feet-pounds. The 2 screws in step 3, 44. All right, so let me, I think I can barely see inside of this thing. Let me get a socket and we should be good to go. All right, so it looks like it's a 14 mil. We're gonna test this out and see. Let me see if it says to hook them beforehand, because some of this stuff, when you go to hook stuff, if it's before, then you need to do that. If it's not and it's after, yes, so it does say hook them together, which you use the supplied hardware here, and then we're just gonna hook them right there. Let me grab a torque bit. All right, and we're back at an 8 mil. So we've got this stuff. Essentially, this piece right here is going to connect to this one, and it's going to be probably a little bit difficult with having so much overhang here, but we're going to try to get this done right. Again, I do love the powder coat finish on this. It matches the rest of the vehicle, gives it that clean, professional look, which you normally get depending on obviously which manufacturer, but if you've been watching any of my videos for any amount of time, then you know that I am a fan, when possible, not always, with going with OEM, simply because of fitment and color and all of that. Now that is not always the case. To include this vehicle, I do have some aftermarket plans for this that the OEM does not offer. All right, so hopefully we're on point there. So we just connected the 2 bars. Again, so these guys right here, I know you can barely see them, are gonna go into those bed sides. We're gonna kind of tap them or pop them in, and then they expand out as you tighten them. This can be a little bit of a headache to do, as I did that with the desert bumper. Let's get this out of the way, and let's let me switch sockets here and see if we can't get some of these started. So obviously, for the design's sake, this is what it's going to look like. Hopefully once we're all mounted and good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start trying to mount this thing in, and then we'll go from there. Okay, be gentle here. I'm not over tightening any of this stuff. I'm just trying to get it mounted, and hopefully I can get this thing seated correctly. Now we did this same setup with the desert bumpers on this. Have that on the rear, anyways. Have that same setup, and I feel like it did a good job. You just have to kind of press it in a little bit to make sure that you're seating correctly. And then essentially, I'm just gonna mount this in. So let me finish screwing this thing or bolting this in. I'm gonna do the other side, and then we're gonna take a look at this and close this out. Alright guys, so we have these guys installed. Super simple install. Take your time, pop the bolts through, make sure that they're all the way through. The other side, I just had to tap it through a little bit on the inside just to make sure. Just check that beforehand. This really is maybe a 20-minute install at most. Looks fantastic. It's going to protect, and the most importantly, it's going to protect this whole underside, because I'd rather have that get hit than obviously the underside of the gas tank or the frame and everything else. In addition to that, it also they also stick out. The back side of this, just to give you an idea, sticks out close to the width of the rear tires, which are 10-inch tires. Obviously it kind of necks in and then gives us some protection at the driver and passenger front door area, as well. Again, this product and products like this for your RZR are going to be linked below, so check those out if you're interested in doing the rock guards for yours. I think they look great. The one thing I would say, and I guess the thing I would worry a little bit about, is having people really step and heave on these too much. But overall, they look great. They're gonna function better out on the trail, and they're installed and ready to go. Hey guys, thank you for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget, hit subscribe. If you guys are out riding or driving, do it safely. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll catch up with you in the next video.